Hey, what's going on, guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Let's talk about the Benchmade Bugout 535. This is a blade that I have literally carried in my pocket every single day for the past almost year at this point. Now, the reason that I picked up this blade and got so excited about it when it first came out is more than anything the size of the blade, the shape of the blade being a drop point, and the weight of this knife. Now, somebody that does a lot of hiking, a lot of backpacking, and just a lot of outdoor activities, I wanted something that was going to be super lightweight and still have a good blade size for food prep and for wood carving and even for slight batoning needs, even though I rarely do fires anymore when I'm out backpacking and whatnot. I wanted the ability to just use and abuse this knife, and I feel like the Benchmade Bugout really is that ultimate blade. It's not the best blade out on the market, but as far as I'm concerned, as an outdoor, do-everything blade that is super lightweight, reliable, and just made well, this is the way to go. Now, if we talk about some of the nitty-gritty aspects of this knife, feature-wise and specs, this thing weighs just under 2 ounces, which for a backpacking need, when you've got a blade length of what this is, which the blade length is at just under 3¼ inches, and you've got just over 4 inches of length and then 7½ inches of total length with it open, you've got just a really good outdoor blade for that aspect of needing something that's lightweight but still has a good amount of blade for the uses that you would need it for. Now, it is super slim, super thin, which is an aspect that I really like. And one of the most important things for me is I don't like to reveal the fact that I've got a knife in my pocket and to draw attention, even though that really isn't that big of a deal. But I do love the pocket clip on this and how well, how deep it sits in the pocket. That's an important thing for me. And the retention of the pocket clip is awesome. In fact, of all of the knives that I've owned, I probably have enjoyed this pocket clip the most of any of them. The axis lock is one of my favorite features on this blade. Just love the axis lock, just like I've got here on my Benchmade Mini Griptilian. It's just a really slick, really fluid locking mechanism that makes opening and closing really nice, and it's a reliable locking mechanism. You don't have to worry about it coming open on you or accidentally closing it. It's just a really fluid, awesome locking mechanism. Now, something that I was a little bit concerned about when I first got this is if I'm really like yarding on this and I've got this in my hand and I'm really pushing on it, how well is this material on the handle going to handle those aspects of just really aggressive type of work with it? You do get a little bit of like flexing on here, and you've only got one little stud here or spacer here in the between the two handle pieces, and you've got the liners that go down on the inside for the structure of it. In addition to the handle, they only come to about this point right here. So I've seen in other reviews people talk about that that's not really an issue, and I have not, for the time that I've had this knife, had any issue with that as well. It's really comfortable, and even though like the pocket clip does cover and go into your hand, that's not it's not uncomfortable, and it's a great ergonomic shape with how thin it is as well. So when I squeeze this together, you can see how flexible this material is, which honestly I'm not certain what type of material it is. It's just super fluid, guys. The jimping here on the back of the blade, not my favorite. I wish it was a little bit more aggressive, but it serves the purpose for what you need. And just as a tool for outdoor use, this serves the purpose and it's not too aggressive. Notice here that on this thumb stud, it's starting to get pretty worn. That is from carrying the knife next to my flashlight all the time. And so at some point I might try to replace that, but that might be a slight negative to the performance of this, but for the most part, just fantastic. Now the steel that they use on this is the S30V steel. I have yet to sharpen this knife, and it still has a really good kind of retention on that edge. It would be time at this point for me to go ahead and send it into Benchmade, take advantage of that sharpening lifetime, and go ahead and get a nice new factory edge on this. But the swedge here on the front of the blade on this drop point is a nice good feature to it, and aesthetically it's really nice and pleasing to look at. For food prep and whatnot, this knife does pretty good when I'm out backpacking and whatnot. But for an everyday carry knife and what I use it for, this the grind that is on this works out just fine. I'm not going to get into the real like science and nitty-gritty stuff on it. And the lanyard hole here on the back of the knife is really nice and big, so like easy to put like paracord or something through on that, as opposed to a little tiny piece of cord. And then you've got the ability to flip your pocket clip from left or right orientation as well. But this will always be with the point up. You don't have the option to be able to put the pocket clip down with the point down in your pocket. So super cool blade, guys. I just really am happy with this. I love it. And I stopped carrying my CRKT squid once I picked up the Benchmade because of how universal of a blade this is. And even comparing to my mini Griptilian, I don't even carry this thing anymore, like not at all. So that can go to show just how much I love this blade. So that's the Benchmade Bugout, guys. Easily my favorite everyday carry blade, and I may at some point pick up one of the other iterations of it, but there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. As always, have an awesome day.